Welcome back to Cheddar's Opening Bell. You just heard the start of last year's Darlington race in South Carolina this weekend. Drivers will once again start their engines, but to a much quieter raceway. The race, now named the Real Heroes 400, won't have any fans cheering on from the stands this year. Joining us now is Jill Gregory, the Executive Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer for NASCAR. Jill, great to have you on. This is the first major sporting organization in America to restart. So why did you decide to wave the green flag, so to speak, on the season? And what kind of message does this send to fans at home?
Well, thank you for having me on today. We couldn't be more excited to go back racing in Darlington this weekend. It's been a few months since we've been on the track, and it's what we do, provide kind of entertainment and escape for millions of fans across the country. But we know, as you mentioned, when we go back, it's going to have to look much different than it did before, namely with no fans in the stands, but also how we operate the race. We know we have a real responsibility to protect the health and safety of our competitors, our industry, and the local communities we race in. So we're not taking that lightly. We have an extensive protocol to ensure that we're ready to go back, but we're ready to go back safely.
What are some of the things that are being done on the raceway to keep drivers and the staff safe in the face of coronavirus?
Yeah, so what you would normally see, a racetrack has a pretty large footprint, and most of the competitors are very close together, kind of all in the same area. So we're going to use that real estate to our advantage and really practice social distancing protocols as provided to us. Each team, each component of the race itself will kind of have its own pod or area to work within. We will all of those there will be using protective equipment. There will be little to no contact amongst anybody there, even with drivers and their own race team. So things that you would normally see, like, high fives or cheers in victory lane or after a pit stop, none of that will be happening. We will be doing either virtual activities to promote the race or practicing social distancing throughout the facility. And the footprint of the number of people there is going to be severely reduced.
We do want to mention a man was arrested this week for threatening to plant a bomb at the raceway. Will there be any increased security measures in response to that?
Yes, so we will obviously, there's been a significant amount of planning getting ready for something like this, and security is a huge part of that. We need to make sure that anybody coming into the facility to help us run this race is safe. So we are working with local law enforcement, federal agencies, and our own security team to make sure that everything is protected inside the footprint, and monitoring any kind of activity outside the footprint as well. So a large security presence will be there for sure.
The race has been renamed Real Heroes 400. What can you tell us about that initiative?
Yeah, so it's actually really gratifying to see this all come together early on during this crisis when none of the sports teams or sports leagues were competing. A number of the leagues got together and started to talk about how we could support the real heroes, the frontline healthcare workers that are really putting their lives on the line to keep everybody safe. And so 14 different sports leagues got together, and we got all of our athletes, our drivers, athletes from across the country to really recognize the true heroes, the real heroes. So you'll see for us, the driver's name over the door or the driver's name will be replaced by the name of a healthcare hero that has been kind of identified across the country. You're seeing other athletes do it on their uniforms. And really, it's a chance for all of us to do something that's much bigger than our individual sport. And that's recognize and pay respect to, those people that are keeping us safe. So it's an amazing project. We were able to name the race after these heroes and to give the command to start your engines. We'll have a mosaic of 40 healthcare workers across the country that they will be the ones to say, drivers, start your engines. So a great way to recognize the real heroes in this scenario.
That's great. There are 3 races scheduled at Darlington next week. Are you planning to hold more races this season?
We are. So, what we want to do is host races in venues that where the local governments have determined that the phasing in of activity is approved, and so we will be racing at race tracks that are local and close to where Charlotte, North Carolina is, which is where most of our race teams are located. We'll do 3 races in Darlington, and then we'll do 5 races in Charlotte, all very close, no travel, no hotel, very modified schedule, but doing it in places where the local health officials have assured us that it is safe to compete.
And really quickly, Jill, do you expect that you're going to attract some new fans just because of the lack of other sports out there? Is this an opportunity for you guys?
Yeah, it really is. We actually, through the hiatus, if you will, we had an esports series, an iRacing series that was a virtual racing series that attracted a lot of new fans, almost 2.1 million new fans watching that product. And now we know that when we're actually racing on the track, and you'll have the storylines and the excitement, and a lot of eyeballs out there that are looking for sports content, that we have a big chance to capture some of that attention on Sunday. So we're looking forward to that.
All right. Well, live sports over the weekend. We are excited. Thank you, Jill Gregory, Executive Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer for NASCAR. Appreciate it.